yoga, because there are some days when you just don't feel like adulting. And there's been loads of days when I've felt like this, where I just wanted to stay in bed, or I just wanted to not really be hugely participative. And kind of the last thing you feel like doing is getting on the rubber rectangle. But I can tell you this, is when you do get on the rubber rectangle, even if it's just for 15 minutes, it makes a monumental difference to your day. So one of the videos that I watched, that I found through YouTube, was Mel Robbins and her 5-second rule. And she says that if you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you give yourself that deadline of the number 1, and you have to take action at that point in time, at that number 1, when you count backwards, it will change how you activate yourself, and you move through things that perhaps might be a little bit of a challenge at that time. And certainly, there's been moments, and when you don't want to get out of the shower, or you don't want to get in the shower, or you don't want to get out of bed, or you don't want to get on your yoga mat, or there are things that you don't want to do, or that you have to, and you feel a little lethargic or a little blocked around getting them done. Anyway, so this Pyjama Yoga is around those moments when you just don't feel like adulting. So you can stay in your PJs and still get your yoga on. So you've counted down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You've got up and you've got on your mat. Still in your PJs. So what do we do next? So there's a couple of things, like just finding yourself connected to breath, and sitting on your mat and not really doing anything to start with, just finding space here and holding space for yourself. So maybe it's just taking a few rounds of breath, closing down the eyes, and just silently thanking yourself for being on your mat. Maybe you can even thank yourself or send yourself some appreciation for counting backwards from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and actually being here. So just taking a few deep rounds of breath and sending yourself some love and appreciation for just being on the mat and giving yourself this space. You can close down the eyes and just feel the breath moving through the body. And if your mind starts wandering off into different places, just count with the breath. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And as you continue through this breath cycle, you'll notice that you have a sense of calm that comes over you, and you can continue with that breathing pattern for as long as you like. And you can add in that box breathing if you like, which is that little silent pause. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath inside. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath outside. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold. So you can continue through that breathing pattern for as long as you like, and it will feel good, and it's like a little mini meditation for you when you come in to your mat. So I like to invigorate myself just a little bit, and we'll start off with some abs. So coming down onto your back, and you might notice that I'm in this really groovy hotel room that is a cross between, I don't know, something left over from 1970 something and bed linen that's been left over from the 1980s, but not the revigorated 1980s, the original 1980s. It's pretty funny. So bring the heels right up to the glutes here, and you can just take the hands to the side of the head and keep the elbows back. So a good measure of this is we're actually pressing the back into the floor here and trying to feel the whole back right from the cervical spine to the tailbone connected to the earth. Bring the hands by the side of the head, and here you can actually open the elbows and press the elbows into the earth and feel the whole back body connected. So take an inhale breath, and as you exhale, lift the body. So you can keep doing these little abdominal lifts. And the reason we do this is we're just activating the body. So again, if you have to count to 5 and do Mel Robbins' little activation of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to get the body up off the earth, just to get a few of these little abs happening, a little bit of core activation. We're going to do 5 more, 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Take the legs out to the end of the mat. Take the arms by the side body. Lift the shoulders, lift the feet for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release. Take the arms up over the head. Give yourselves a little bit of a stretch, right and left. Opposites stretching away with each other. You're feeling that lovely stretch down the side body. And you might be feeling a little bit warm already. So bring the heels back to the butt. Reach the hands up towards the sky or the ceiling. And you're going to lift the shoulders off the earth, but the head's going to stay down. Toe tap here. So you're tapping the toes onto the mat. And then as you exhale, knees come in towards the elbows. And you're going to try and keep the calves as close to the hamstrings as you can. Again, exhale on that crunch. Inhale, tap the toes. And try not to use like swingy momentum here. We just want to really activate the core. And we've done, if you've watched some of my videos before, we've used this activation for some warm up for crow and also crane. But it's a lovely activation, gets right into the lower abs. Exhale. And so you inhale on the toe tap, exhale on the knees to the elbows, and just try and squeeze everything. You might have also seen me do this with a block, which I quite enjoy as well. So we're going to just do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Extend the legs out in front. Take the arms by the side body, lift the shoulders, lift the feet. We've got canoe, so half Navasana. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale and release. Take the arms over the head. Give yourselves a nice stretch. So already we're feeling like we've actually done a little bit here. So we haven't left the floor, but we feel like, well, we've connected in with the breath, and we've actually done a little bit of core work, which invigorates and wakes up the body a little bit. So we're just going to roll all the way over, still kind of in sleep mode here, and bring the face down to the mat. Just reach around and grab hold of the right foot and just give the quad a little bit of a stretch. So we're pulling the heel into the glutes. Keep the knees close to each other and press that right hip into the ground, and you might even lift that right knee off the floor ever so slightly. And you can breathe in and out. You can close the eyes here and just feel that stretch happening. You might have even felt that the foot pressing into the hand and, you know, waking up the bicep and the tricep in that right arm as well. You can release that foot down to the earth, swap over, do the other side. So grab hold of that left foot, pull that heel into the butt. You can press that left hip into the earth, Lift the knee a little bit of an activation there. And pressing that foot into the hand, feeling that into the bicep, the tricep. Exhale and release. So waking up the legs there and the hips a little bit. Elbows into the mat, Sphinx pose. You can keep the eyes closed here. We're just going to take the feet out so that they're mat width apart. Elbows into the earth. And it's as though you want to separate the ribs from the hips. So inhale and lengthen away, digging the elbows into the mat and feeling the shoulders draw down and back. And the hips stay connected to the earth. And just close down the eyes here and breathe. You can feel the belly pressing into the earth. And you might even use that counting breath. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. You can press the feet into the earth and you can lift the chest a little bit as you try and send the heart space forward. So there's that little bit of opening of the heart space here. You can take an inhale breath, and if you feel, you can gaze up towards the sky, feeling the heart center opening just a little bit more, and also the throat chakra opening here. Exhale and release all the way down to the earth. So we're bringing the hands underneath the shoulders now. The feet, we're going to tuck the toes, and we're going to press up to tabletop. And we're just going to take a few rounds of cat-cow here. So take a look at the hands. Make sure they're directly underneath the shoulders and the fingers are spread nice and wide and the shins are pressing into the earth. The knees are about hip width apart. Just take an inhale breath, drop the belly to the earth, gaze towards the sky. As you exhale, press the earth away and lift up through the back. And sometimes when we get out of bed, we really feel like we need these little back stretches as well. So it's a nice place to start to wake up the day. Inhale, belly down. Exhale, roll through the back. This carpet in this room is just so super stylish. And sometimes when you're traveling, you're faced with different challenges in each different space that you're in. And I'm challenged by this carpet. Inhale, belly down. Exhale, roll through the back. And so here we are in our cat-cow stretch. So dropping down to our neutral spine here. We're just going to take the right hand underneath the left, connect the ear down to the earth, keep the hips over the heels, and stretch that left arm forward. So we've got a little twist happening here, a little bit of a shoulder stretch. You can take that chin mudra. And don't be afraid to adjust where you're at. So maybe you want to stretch that hand forward a little bit. Maybe you want to press back into the hips or feel a little bit more in the shoulder. But just breathe when you get there. When you feel like, oh, I'm feeling this stretch activating down the side of my body. Just breathe. And see if you can feel that concept of surrender enter into your vocabulary now, and as it enters your vocabulary, it allows, your body allows it to surrender. So you're feeling that sensation of surrender. So as you inhale, create a little space, and as you exhale, surrender. And you might need to make that little adjustment just as I did then. That sigh of relief, allowing the body to open up just that little bit more. Bring the left hand back to the mat. Inhale, lift up, right hand goes down, left hand goes under, and we do the other side. Ear to the mat, reaching forward. And you might find that one side is a little tighter than the other. Just breathing and surrendering. Bring the right hand back. lift yourself up, come back to your neutral tabletop. So we're going to take Anahatasana, so this little heart opening pose here, or sometimes known as puppy pose. So we're coming down onto the mat, bringing the chest to the mat. Now I've gripped hold of the end of my mat here, and it's like I'm pulling the mat away from my chest. Now you might not get down this far in the first go, so if you're here, that's perfectly okay. Where we want to get to is the heart space coming down towards the earth. So using the mat is a really great way. Also connecting in with the breath, inhale, and then the exhale, surrender. And eventually you can reach those hands forward. And you can just stay here, just for a moment or two, a few rounds of breath. Inhale, walking the hands back. Coming back to our tabletop, pressing the shins into the earth, looking down again. And just take a few rounds of cat-cow. So you can feel the difference now since you've taken Anahatasana. Exhale, stretching through the back. So that heart space is really open. And so while we're in cat stretch here, I just want you to look around and see if you can see. Send the hips to the left, send the head to the left, see if you can see that left butt cheek. And go to the other side, right side, send the hips to the right, send the head to the right, see if you can see that right butt cheek. And come back through the center. Take the knees wide, sit back onto the heels. So we're going to take a wide-legged child's pose. So I'm just going to open up the chest for a moment while we're here. So interlace the hands together. Draw the hands down towards the toes. Take an inhale breath and look towards the sky as you exhale, opening the heart space. Just take a few rounds of breath here. Then gently bring the hands back to the mat, slide the hands forward and come down for your wide-legged child's pose. So really use the breath to connect in here. And my elbows are down on the mat, my hips are connected into my heels, my knees are about as wide as my yoga mat. My hands are reaching forward, and I've actually created like a little diamond with my hands here, and I like the sensation of that connection. So you can just take a few more rounds of breath here, inhale and exhale. Really opening into the hips. The heels connecting down to the hips, and a little bit of length coming into the back body. And from here you might even like to reach the hands a little further forward and feel a little more activation as you lift up onto the fingertips and lift the elbows from the mat. We're going to take 2 more rounds of breath here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We're coming all the way up, and we're back to our neutral tabletop. This time I want you to just sit down, and we're going to come to cross leg. See, we haven't done anything crazy yet. Nothing really out there. We haven't even got to downward facing dog, yet we've stretched all these different areas of the body already, which is really quite lovely. And we're still in our PJs, which is also really great. So from here, we're sitting in Sukhasana, easy seated pose. You can also, if you're feeling a little bit more juicy, you can take a half lotus, where you would bring a foot up onto the thigh. And take an inhale breath and reach high. Reaching and lifting up through the chest, drawing the shoulders down the back body, and maybe even pulling the tummy into the spine, activating the abdominals here. Just feeling that lovely stretch. Drop the right hand down to the earth. Take an inhale breath and gaze up to that top left hand. Continue to breathe here as you open through the side body. Maybe even take that elbow back towards the ear, opening the heart space a little and gazing up towards the fingertips. Try and keep the length through that top left hand. If you like, you can drop that right elbow a little closer to the earth and feel the stretch deepen down that left side of the body, and really try and stretch towards the wall on the side of the room with those fingertips. Inhale and come back to center. I'm just going to reorganize my Sukhasana. Drop the left hand down to the earth. Inhale the right hand high and gaze up towards the right fingertips. Feeling that stretch down the right side of the body. Gazing towards the fingertips, drawing the elbow back as you breathe. Inhale and exhale. Opening the heart space and feeling the stretch down the right side of the body. And you might even like to draw that left elbow down towards the earth. Feeling that opening just a little bit deeper. Try and keep both hips planted or grounded and connected to the earth. Inhale and come back to center. So that opening of the side body is so lovely. Take an inhale breath here and sink back into the hips so you're really feeling the connection of the hips to the earth. Take the hands in front of you and gently come down onto the elbows or as far as you can go and drop the head down. Just connecting with the breath here. My hands are on this delightful carpet and I think to myself, Lord knows what's gone on in this room. This carpet is really, really unattractive, but that's okay. It's the thing about traveling when you're on the road and you get to see all these different places and you don't, it's not always luxury 5-star accommodation, my friends. This is it. Roadside Western Australia, we're staying in a pub and there's 6 rooms here and I'm sure they're all equally as stylish as the other. So this is a really nice stretch into the hips and for the lower back. Inhale, walk the hands back. So I want you to swap the legs over. So, there we go. Take an inhale breath. Hands out in front of you. As you exhale, bring the body down. So you might not feel very juicy here right now. So if you have a block, you are more than welcome to put that block there. And if you would like to rest your head on the block, you can do that. Or if you have a lunchbox, if you're on the road, that works too. And just release the head. Feel that stretch. So this is a reminder too that, you know, it's not all about the Insta yoga stuff. Like, yoga means union, and sometimes we just need to get back to those basics. You don't have to have all the fancy everything, this, that, and the other, leggings, the latest, whatever it might be that's going to get you through. Perfection is no guarantee of success, and yoga doesn't need you to have any of that stuff. Take another round of breath here. And sometimes it's just this getting back to basics, walking the hands back towards the shins and bringing the hands behind you. Just turning the palms of the heels into the hips, and so the hands are like directly below the shoulders, but you're pressing the heart space up and looking towards the sky. So as I was saying, there's no requirement by yoga to have, you know, all the fancy this, that, and the other, and that you need new leggings before you go, or, you know, we're sitting in here in our pajamas. This is pajama yoga. We're here doing the work, connecting in with our breath, and, you know, stretching the body, making room for ourselves and space for ourselves, a little bit of a timeout. So bring the hands back to the knees, and this time sink back into the hips and roll the body so that you can really feel that stretch. It's that counter to that opening of the heart space just then. And coming back to our center. So I'm going to swing around and come up onto the knees. And we're going to take just a little bit of a hip opener here. So stepping forward with the right foot, and making sure that our right knee is, or the foot is out in front of the knee rather, and then we can just lean forward and give that hip flexor a little bit of a stretch. And you can open up the heart space here, drawing the hands towards the back, so towards that calf at the back. So notice I haven't done any really huge arms and really pumped the heart here. So the most we've done in terms of elevating the heart rate is our abdominal crunches at the beginning. So everything else is fairly subtle in this space. So we're not doing any massive activation. So if I were to lift my hands here, so my heart is going to have to work harder to pump the blood all the way to the fingertips. So that activation alone will increase the heart rate. But we're keeping a little bit low key here because this is pajama yoga and we don't really feel like adulting today. So inhale a breath, exhale and surrender. You can take the hands down to the earth. Just flex that front foot, get your anklet out of the way and draw the body down towards the leg. And two, you might not feel that flexible when you wake up in the morning. So going a little bit slower and being a little kinder, practicing some ahimsa, some compassion to the self. And connecting in with the breath. Drop the head down. We're just going to come back to our hip flexor stretch here, and this time keep the hands on the earth. You might even walk that foot forward a little bit. And I want you to feel that left hip opening up. You can even walk the right foot out to the side there. Bring the hands on the inside of the feet. So you can stay here in this variation of lizard lunge, or you can come down onto the elbows, depending how you're feeling. So try and elongate through the back body. Then eventually you can tuck the chin to the chest, but try and keep that length through the spine, all the way to the base of the skull, right through the cervical spine here. And see if you can keep breathing. Pretty important to keep breathing. Allowing that word surrender to really be part of your yoga vocabulary as you're on the mat. Hands press into the floor, stepping that right knee back. And you can sit back into hero's pose for just a moment. You can take the fingertips to the toes and you can press the hips up, just opening the heart space a little bit here. Exhale and release. Coming back, taking it on the other side, stepping the left foot forward, making sure that that left foot is out in front of the left knee. Taking an inhale breath, interlacing the hands, palms behind the back, and drawing into the hips. So this exercise, apart from, not being that elevated heart rate, we are actually opening the heart space here by opening the chest and interlacing the hands. If that is a little bit too intense for you, you can keep the hands on the hips. You can rest the hands on the knee. And if you do feel like taking it a little bit deeper, you can inhale and reach the opposite hand to the knee up towards the sky. That's going to stretch a little bit deeper into the psoas. Not feeling the intensity of reaching both arms to the ceiling in terms of elevating the heart rate, but still feeling a little bit of a depth there. Or you can keep those interlaced hands. There's no hard and fast rules here, totally up to you, whatever you're feeling. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit of a stretch into the hip flexor already. So hands back down towards the floor, flex the front foot. Inhale, look beyond the toes. Exhale, draw the body down. So early in the morning, 7 a.m. here, I am feeling that stretch into my hip flexor, into my hamstring, just to the back of my leg here. So really feeling it towards its insertion point down behind the knee today. And it might be different every day. You might feel it in different spots depending what you've been doing, if you've been climbing mountains or if you've been wearing high heels or if you've been wearing runners. Every day is different, so just be with it. Use the breath. Practice the surrender. Drop that front foot back. Bring the body weight down. Still pressing that back shin into the earth, and we're feeling that opening through the hips here. We're walking the left foot out towards the side of the mat, bringing the hands to the inside of the foot. The elbows are coming down, or you might like to stay in that more elevated first variation. And we're really stretching through the body and eventually tucking the chin towards the chest, still keeping the length through the back and the cervical spine. And breathing. Always the breath. Hands, palms, press into the earth. Step that knee back. Drop the hips back, and we're here in hero's pose. You can take the fingertips to the toes and just lift the heart space, dropping the head back, gazing back towards the wall or whatever's behind you. And coming back to the center. So we're going to take another little seat here. We're going to take one leg out to the front. And so this is a variation of Janu Shirshasana. So there are, in our Ashtanga Vinyasa 1 series, there are actually 4 variations of this, and as you move through Ashtanga Vinyasa, loads more. So this variation, we're actually taking the foot directly out in front of us, so the knee is pressing into the earth, and we're connecting both hips down to the ground here. So the hips are actually squared off, so left leg straight out in front of me here. So see if you can bring that right heel all the way up to the groin and press that knee in. And so you can take the left hand behind the body and lift up and out of the hips, but still trying to feel the connection of the hips to the earth. And that actually is quite nice. I'm feeling a little bit of opening through my adductor here. And I haven't even got out of my pajamas yet, and I really love that. Sometimes it's just a good pajama day. Inhale the right arm high. I want you to reach over towards that left foot and reach for the outside of the left foot. And what this is doing, instead of us going directly this way, we're actually finding that twist that's enabling us to come down over that front left leg. So this left arm here, you can take a little bind here by wrapping it around and trying to reach for that right thigh. So it doesn't matter where you are here. Now, if you can't reach, I'm just looking around for some impersonation of a yoga strap here, and I have handy a little sarong. So if you can't reach for your foot, yoga strap, sarong, scarf, whatever, and you can grab hold of both of that. You can take hold of with one foot and still feel that bind on the other side. So if you can't reach the foot, and it doesn't matter where you are, but what you want to do is still continue to feel that length through the back body. So the hips are ground down to the earth, and you're lengthening through the spine, and then you're feeling that pull down towards the leg. So this is another way you don't need all the fancy stuff in yoga. That's my sarong, it travels the world with me. Hand around the outside of the foot and reaching down. So just take another 3 rounds of breath here. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, exhale 3. So this is a really lovely stretch. I'm feeling a little bit into the hips. I'm feeling it a little bit through the back still, as we're still really warming up. And I've got my foot flexed back, so I'm actually feeling that into the back of my leg as well. So let's swap that over. And we're going to bring that left foot into the right thigh. And flexing the toes back towards the face. You can press that right hand into the earth at the back of the body, almost like a splint for the spine, so you're feeling that lovely lengthening through the back of the body, but still feeling the connection of the hips to the earth. And we're pressing and opening up, so draw that right hip back down towards the ground and open up through the hips here, so you're feeling that little bit of an extension through the adductor on the left hand side. Inhale the left arm high, and you're going to reach around that left hand on the right foot, and you can take that right hand and you can take that around the back and feel that little bit of a bind here. We're going to take 4 rounds of breath. Inhale, exhale 1. Really use that concept of surrender. Inhale, exhale, 2. Inhale, exhale, 3. One more breath. Inhale, exhale, 4. We're coming all the way back up. Unwrap from the bind. Bring both feet in front of you. Hands wrap around the ends of the toes. So we're not actually pulling on the feet and lifting the feet. The hands are stacked over the top of each other and then wrapped around the toes. And you can pull the feet as close to the groin as you can. Take an inhale breath, lengthen through the spine, and as you exhale, I want you to press the knife edge of the feet into the earth and see if you can sit down with the sit bones, but spread the sit bones into the earth. Sounds really attractive, doesn't it? Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen through the back body. As you exhale, press the knife edge of the feet into the earth. Feel the sit bones, and as you press the sit bones into the earth, you're going to feel a natural release into the hips, and it's going to feel like a little bit of an opening once you connect in with this, and it'll take you maybe a couple of rounds of breath to find that connection, and you're going to feel the knees gently opening to the earth, but without the force of the elbows or anything forcing the legs, just a natural opening of the hips. So inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, knife edge of the feet into the earth, open the sit bones and feel the release of the knees through that opening of the hips. Again, inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, knife edge of the feet pressed into the earth. Opening of the hips. One more round of breath. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Walk the feet out in front of you. Use the hands on the knees if you need to. Give the legs a little bit of a shake here. And we're feeling quite good. I'm feeling quite good. I'm feeling better than I did when I got on my mat, and I'm still in my pajamas. So I'm going to take my hands down to the earth, and I'm going to step back for a little bit of a downward facing dog. So I'm just going to walk through the feet a little bit here. Still feeling that stretch happening into my calves, but this has taken us a little bit to get to our downward facing dog. Perfectly okay. Make sure the hands, palms are flat to the floor, that the fingertips are pressing into the earth. Allow the head to release and draw the heels back towards the earth. If the heels are touching the earth, lift the toes. Lift the hips, draw the tummy into the spine. Externally rotate the arms and the shoulders, drawing the shoulder blades down the back, creating space there. And we're just going to drop the knees down to the earth. Feel a little bit of an activation of the core. Press the earth away here, creating space at the shoulder blades and also creating a little bit of warmth. Tapas in the body with that core activation. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Shake the head yes and no. Feel a little bit of respite here in the dog. Maybe moving the heels again. Again, no hard and fast rules. We're little yogi explorers figuring out our bodies today. Everything's good in the hood. Press back. Gaze towards the fingertips. Draw the knees down. So my knees are maybe about 3 or 4 centimeters off the earth. I'm pressing the earth away. I'm activating the arms, lifting up out of the shoulders. My core is active. And I'm going to hold for 3, 2, 1. Press back. Downward facing dog. One more round, rolling through the back because it feels good. Coming down for this little core activation. And pressing back, downward facing dog. And I'm gently going to walk my feet forward to the back of my wrists here. Allow my hips to rise up to the sky, bend into the knees, and just take a little bit of a ragdoll. So I'm feeling that lovely extension through the back body in this little inversion. Rocking from one side of my foot to the other. Now I'm actually moving my feet here, so I'm lifting my heels up off the earth and feeling that grounded connection, but exploring through my feet. So feeling what that feels like and shifting the body weight around a little bit. Not being static or stagnant in this space. Lifting the hips, feeling the belly connected to the thighs. Now releasing the hands and releasing the head.
Feel a grounded connection of the feet into the earth. Press the toes, press all the way across the pad of that front foot, and press both sides of the heels into the earth. Lift the hips, drop the head, and the knees don't have to be locked out here. We're just creating a little bit of space in the spine. Did you know that we recover like 2 centimeters of length as we sleep at night? So this is why inversions are so beautiful for us. Upside down, Miss Jane. Now we can bend the knees a little bit, roll all the way up through the back. Magically, we are standing. So we're just going to come to the top of our mat, and we're not going to do anything crazy because this is Pyjama Yoga. And we've just made it to our feet. So I kind of feel like we've worked our way through, and we've opened up the heart space, and we've opened the hips a little bit, and my quadriceps got a nice stretch, and my hamstrings and into my shoulders. So we've worked nearly every aspect of the body. So we're just going to take a little bit of a balance here and bring ourselves back into center. So ground both feet down into the earth. Ground that left foot into the earth as you lift the right foot and come into tree pose. Bringing both hands to heart center. And this might be a little bit more challenging in your pajamas than it is in your yoga pants, because you really have to press the thigh into the foot and the foot into the thigh. Draw the pelvis down. So you're drawing a little bit of a pelvic tilt there to open up through the hips. Draw the tummy into the spine. Lift the chest, shoulders down and back. Tuck the chin. Breathe. Really create some length and strength in that left supporting leg. And I'm feeling a lovely opening in the hips right now. My foot is sliding down my thigh. And that's perfectly okay in Pyjama Yoga. Exhale, release that right foot down to the earth. Release the hands down by the side body. And we're going to do that on the other side. So ground the right foot into the earth. Bend that left knee, bring it up into the thigh. Now I am going to say while we're here, if you don't have that full expression of tree pose, you can take this balance with the foot by the ankle or on the calf. Just don't, I mean, it's so easy to just want to balance it on the knee. Just don't, because it pushes the knee out to the side, and we really want to create a little bit of strength here. So pressing that foot into the thigh or into the calf. And really, if you're in the thigh, press back with that right thigh. So you're giving it as much as you're getting it from the left foot into the right thigh. Tilt, slight tilt of the pelvis, drawing the tailbone down so that you feel a little bit more of the opening in the hip. Hands to heart center, shoulders down and back. Slightly tuck the chin, tummy to the spine, and as you draw the tummy into the spine, notice that there's a little bit of length happening through the back body and a little bit more of that opening of the pelvis. You might even like to close your eyes and check your balance here. Release that foot back down to the earth. Just stand here for a moment with the hands at heart center. Close the eyes down. Take a really deep inhale. As you exhale, open the mouth. Let that sigh happen. Feel the surrender of the body as you do that. Just take a moment here to send yourself some love and some appreciation just for taking a time out in your PJs this morning on your rubber rectangle. So normally after our practice, we would take a Shavasana, and so I would invite you to take Shavasana here, but also because we're already standing and we've invigorated our body, it might just be a moment to keep going in your day, or you might even feel invigorated to take another 20 or 30 minutes on your mat today. But if not, I thank you for practicing with me today and enjoying this variation of yoga in our PJs. Namaste, have a great day.